I represented Hope Alive for Possibilities Initiative, a women-led organization protecting the rights of women and girls, especially those with disability, at the second edition of the Conference of Stakeholders on Disability Inclusion in Nigeria, COSDIN 2.0. It was a gathering filled with passion, purpose and hope for a more inclusive Nigeria. The event started beautifully with the official opening by Honorable Dr. Yusuf Tanko Sonono, the Minister of State for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, who was represented. He reminded us that the government is truly committed to implementing the rights of persons with disabilities at all levels. It was reassuring to hear that from the very top. After that, Dr. Abdullahi Usman gave the welcome remark.
As we all know, this is a gathering where all the stakeholders in disability inclusion of Nigeria, from the organization of persons on disability, organization for persons on disability, governments, development partners, who come together and discuss the way forward of inclusiveness in this country.
His message made me reflect on two important questions. How do we push the government to fulfill its promises? And how do persons with disability ensure they remain included every step of the way? Then came the goodwill messages, and honestly, this part made the room feel warm. The Canadian Embassy gave a strong message, saying Canada is always ready to work with Jonapate. Honorable James Lalu also encouraged us, reminding everyone that persons with disability are going into business now and therefore deserves real attention and support. From the Disability Right Fund, DRF, Mr. Theophilus reaffirmed their commitment on protecting and promoting the rights of persons with disability. And Njai Umaru, speaking for the Fold Foundation, emphasized that Fold has always been known for inclusion. They promised to continue partnering with Jonapate and shared how much impact they have made, especially in the fight against gender-based violence. Dr. Shahaditu added something very important. He said that mental health must not be ignored in disability inclusion. One of the biggest highlights was the keynote address by Dr. Tayo Aduloju, the CEO of Nigerian Economic Summit Group. He broke down inclusion in a very simple way. He said inclusion has different forms: social inclusion, digital inclusion, and economical inclusion. He also shared the key things that helps inclusion grow: strong legal and right-based frameworks, accessibility for everyone, proper use of data, partnership and collaborations, good financing and budgeting, monitoring and accountability. Then he touched on the 8 pillars of the renewed hope agenda: job, education, health, economy, security, digital economy, social welfare, infrastructure. He explained how all these pillars connect to inclusion. There was also a powerful session on inclusion pathways, focusing on economic growth, job creation, poverty eradication, agricultural reforms, education, national security, and overall social inclusion. After that came a memorable moment: the book launch titled Disability Right Movement in Nigeria, the beginning, the now, the future. It felt like watching history being documented. Then we moved into the panel discussion led by Barrister Paul Ihenkwaba, centered on the topic: the renewed hope agenda. Where are we with the PWD commitments? More insights came during the second panel. The NSCDC shared the emergency number for victims of the gender-based violence. The deaf-blind community spoke on their research efforts to understand the cause of deaf-blind conditions. The Spinal Cord Injury Group talked about their readiness for elections and commended INEC for being more inclusive. Persons with albinism reaffirmed that they will continue supporting themselves through community efforts. The deaf community emphasized awareness creation and importance of data. And the blind community shared plans to hold sensitizations and mobilization meetings. In the end, COSDIN 2.0 reminded me that the inclusion is not just a policy, it is a journey. A journey we must talk together, a journey we must walk together. Government, organizations, and persons with disability themselves. And I left the conference with one truth in my heart. Nigeria can become fully inclusive if we all keep pushing.